What do you think when you hear the news about Park Jimin, a BTS member currently serving in the military, suddenly being called up by the military due to his mother's deteriorating health? Such news must be quite shocking, right? Just imagine a global idol fulfilling his duty as a soldier, forced to face the dilemma between national duty and family responsibility. But is this situation really as it's been reported? Or could it be possible that this is all a fabrication designed to grab the attention of the media and fans? I'm sure you're wondering, is this really happening, or is it just a story made up for some specific purpose? This is what we will dig into further. We'll explore this situation and invite you to think. Does this news reflect the real truth, or is it just a hoax crafted for sensationalism? Jimin, known for being humble and very close to his family, seems to be at a crossroads in this story. It's reported that Jimin's mother has fallen ill, prompting the military to call him. But we must ask, what exactly is going on? Is Jimin's mother truly in critical condition, or is this just a way to shift attention away from something else more sensational? We know that the military world is tough. Strict rules, high discipline, and leaving duty is not something granted lightly. Imagine how rare it is for a soldier to leave their barracks, especially when the situation is not considered an emergency. So, if Jimin's mother's condition is that serious, why did the military grant such an extraordinary exemption? This is where many questions arise. The sudden news of Jimin's call-up immediately drew public attention, and naturally, wild speculation started to circulate. Some believe this is a real and pure event, while others suspect it's part of a tactic to create news that would captivate both the media and fans. What really happened? Are we witnessing a family tragedy? Or is this just a drama wrapped in sensationalism for commercial purposes? Fans, who are already used to worrying when they see their idol in a tough situation, must be anxious and eager to know more. They use hashtags like #StayStrongJimin and #PrayForJimin to show their support. But how can we know if all this is truly happening as reported? Could it be that this is part of a bigger promotional strategy? Perhaps the agency is trying to create an emotional story to maintain Jimin's closeness with his fans, or maybe to keep the media's interest in the news. Not only is the media speculating, but fan support is also buzzing. Thousands have signed online petitions asking the military to grant Jimin special leave. But the question is, why do they feel the need to do this? Is Jimin's mother's health really that dire? Or do they feel something is wrong and are trying to push the authorities to act according to the story they've heard? Clearly, BTS fans are incredibly loyal, and they will do anything to show their support. But we must ask again, is this reaction really aligned with the truth? Or is it simply an emotional response to potentially inaccurate information? At this point, we need to think more broadly about the celebrity world and how the media often plays a large role in shaping public perception. We often feel connected to our idols through their personal stories shared by the media. But do these stories truly reflect reality, or are they part of a media construct designed to create drama and stir emotions? Of course, we want to believe that everything we hear is real and honest. But we must be cautious. Behind the glitz and glam of the celebrity world, many stories are designed to influence our emotions. Maybe it's time to ask ourselves, are we just following the flow of information without questioning its truth? Or do we genuinely want to know what's really happening? We know that Jimin loves his mother deeply. In various interviews, he's always said that his mother is his greatest inspiration. However, in this situation, we are faced with a bigger dilemma. Will Jimin stay focused on his duty as a soldier, or will he ignore military rules to be with his mother? But behind all of this, we must question whether this is truly the dilemma at hand. Is Jimin really in a tough situation? Or is this just a way for the media and agency to exploit the emotional side of this story for a certain purpose? We know that in South Korea, devotion to family is highly valued, and it's understandable if many people feel that Jimin should be allowed to go home. However, do we fully understand the context behind the military's decision, which might seem harsh? Or are we only viewing this from an emotional perspective without fully understanding the considerations faced by the authorities? Returning to the initial question, can we trust this news, or is it just a fabrication to attract attention? In a world full of unclear information, we must always ask ourselves, does this news tell the truth, Or is it just part of the sensationalism created by the media and interested parties? We can choose to follow the flow of information without thinking critically, or we can take a step further to question every detail of the story we receive. So, what do you think? Do you believe this news is true? Or is there a chance that everything is just made up to maintain popularity and serve specific interests? Ultimately, we all must be cautious with the information we receive. The world of celebrities and media is often filled with uncertainty, and we must always be critical of every news story we hear. So, do we truly know what's going on behind this story, or are we just caught up in the sensation created by interested parties? What do you think? Is this a real story or just a drama designed to grab our attention? Over time, many fans have wondered about the truth behind this news. Was there really an urgent situation that caused the military to call Jimin in the middle of his duty? Or could this be a strategy to attract media attention, a tactic deliberately built to create a bigger emotional narrative than the reality? All of this certainly adds layers of complexity to a story that initially seemed simple. One thing is certain, the media and fan attention to this story is immense. So, are we too quick to judge a story based on what we read in the media? Events like this often raise more questions than answers. And as we know, the media and entertainment world is often filled with speculation. What we consider facts may not always be completely true. Sometimes, the media exaggerates a story to grab the attention of readers or viewers. In this case, is it possible that this whole story is just a drama staged for a specific purpose? Did Jimin really face a huge emotional dilemma? Or is this just part of a strategy to strengthen his image as someone deeply devoted to his family? These are the kinds of questions that arise when we start to question every detail of the reported story. Such news can influence many people, especially fans who are extremely supportive of Jimin. They view him as someone devoted to his family and deeply appreciated. But should we accept this story as it is? In a world filled with information coming from all directions, we need to learn to separate facts from opinions and speculation. If we're too easily swayed by the media, we might fall into the trap of fake news or distorted information for certain interests. Additionally, this story also highlights how the celebrity world is often full of enormous pressures. An idol like Jimin is not only expected to perform on stage, but also has to navigate a personal life filled with stress. Even in very private situations, such as when his mother fell ill, he still has to face a system that is highly structured and doesn't allow much flexibility. How can an artist handle such pressure? Is it fair to them? This is a question that's not easy to answer, because while we can empathize with Jimin, we must also realize that the entertainment world is very different from our everyday lives. Thank you.